Hello, Lancaster. Good afternoon. It is Ben McClure, broadcasting live from Gardner's Mattress and More. This is Lancaster Connects, the show that highlights great small businesses doing amazing things in the county, nonprofits, charitable organizations, sharing stories, again, of people doing great things in Lancaster County. It is June 3rd, 2024. It's crazy. We're like almost halfway through the year. Schools are ending. It's beautiful outside. You can probably see the sun. No, it's not over here. It's over here. Coming through the windows. It's sunny outside. This weekend was beautiful. I realize this isn't going to mean anything to somebody watching maybe 6 months from now when it's winter, but it is gorgeous here in central PA in early June. Lots of cool things going on around Lancaster. Like I mentioned, schools are ending. Some schools are already done. My kids are done this week. We did a bunch of outside home projects this past weekend, mulching, weeding, all kinds of outdoor home projects that usually start happening May, June. Lots of cool things, like I said, happening around Lancaster County. We just had the U.S. Women's Open hosted at the Lancaster Country Club, which was an amazing event. I mean, this is the biggest golf tournament of the year. They have one for the men and one for the women. And in 2015, Lancaster Country Club hosted their first U.S. Women's Open, and it was so successful that they brought it back. The USGA chose to bring the U.S. Women's Open back to Lancaster Country Club. I was fortunate enough to go to the Wednesday practice round, and the actual tournament was Thursday through Sunday. And so, yesterday they crowned a champion. It's their second tournament win or U.S. Open win. But I was lucky enough to go Friday during competition, and it was just amazing. The country club and the USGA did a phenomenal job. Often when you go to events, you might hear some complaining or the problem with this or that or parking or traffic or whatever. I didn't hear any complaining. It was a beautiful weekend, beautiful day, great event. These golfers are just unbelievable. Like, I love golfing. I like, I golf every once in a while, maybe a few times a year. And, my golf game is like from this side of the rough to this side of the hole to that side of the hole. And, 3-putt. Let's like the golf game. It's unbelievable, the talent of these ladies, hitting a golf ball straight and accurate. And, it's a tough course. Apparently it was the toughest U.S. Open ever, which is crazy. So that was pretty cool to see Lancaster host this big event, and just an amazing undertaking for the community of Lancaster and, of course, the Lancaster Country Club. So if you went or you followed it, I'd love to hear in the comments like what any feedback you had, or maybe you knew somebody that was volunteering there. I think there were like 1,500 Lancaster County volunteers. It's an amazing undertaking to see it happen. And all the reports again was just a massive success. So if you were there, or you were part of it, or you just had a comment about it, I'd love to hear your feedback during the show. As you see, I'm flying solo. Jeff is at home taking care of some family stuff at home. So what's up, Jeff? See you next time. Actually, Jeff. Next Monday, Jeff will be out of the chair as well. He'll be traveling to Kentucky, where a fellow mattress retailer is hosting an event, and we're going to be part of that event. So safe travels to him next week. So you'll get another dose of Ben. And I believe I'm on vacation the following week, so you'll get a solo dose of Jeff at that time. But we've got a great show lined up. We'll bring our guests on in just a moment. Going to be talking to a really cool small business from a field that we haven't had on before. We're 145 episodes and 144 past episodes. And you can catch all the past episodes at lancasterconnects.com/episodes, or just go to lancasterconnects.com. That's our homepage. You'll see at the top, you'll see a button for episodes. You can stream all of the past episodes on there. You can also check it out on any of your podcast players as an audio podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, type in Lancaster Connects, will pop right up. You can listen to the show on your trips, maybe family vacation to the beach. you want to listen to Lancaster Connects podcast, that'd be a cool way to kill a few hours. But no, you can check it out on our YouTube channels, on Facebook, Gardener's Mattress and More, where we host the show. That's the business I co-own with Jeff, the co-host of Lancaster Connects, and Lancaster Connects channels as well, YouTube, Facebook. You can check out all the past episodes. But without further ado, we'll bring our guests on. They've been waiting patiently enough. We've got Steps to Success Early Learning Education Center. We've got Michelle Harbaugh, kind of down on the bottom of the screen. Down, I can't do the arrows right down this way. And we've got Adriana Witman over here. No, gosh, that's terrible. See, I'm looking at something that's like opposite, and I'm trying to do okay. We'll get it by the end of the show. How are you both doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for having us.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for not running away. That's number one. So thank you both for being on the show. This is going to be a fun conversation. Michelle, you are the founder of Steps to Success. So first, tell us what Steps to Success is, and then we'll find out how it got started.
Okay. So Steps to Success is now a group of childcare settings. We have our original childcare setting in Leola, and we have expanded during the pandemic and reopened a number of locations that had been closed. So long and short of it, we provide childcare from infants through elementary school age.
Okay. So that's interesting. A lot of businesses changed during COVID. We've talked to a number of business owners that either were lined up or were opening around COVID, or lined up to open around COVID and either couldn't, or they were delayed, or but you actually expanded during COVID, which is pretty cool. So your first center, where did that get its start?
Well, that came from me. And I guess my background as a Millersville graduate, doing some student teaching and student teaching locally, and then substitute teaching locally. But it was back in the 90s when it was hard to get those teaching positions. So I ended up moving to Philadelphia and working for a private substituting down there, working at 2 private schools down there. And after being down there for 2.5 years, I just missed my cows and my trees and my fields and decided it was time to come home.
Gotcha. Yeah, you get used to the smell, right? And it has that brings you right back. Okay, so that's cool. So what kind of drove you to open the center? Did you notice a need, or was it something that you really kind of thought from graduation that you really wanted to get into, like owning your own business? And talk us through that a little bit.
It really wasn't my vision. I had looked into early childhood as part of my learning career at Millersville, but I had certified actually in elementary education. So this early childhood field, even though I had worked in it as a college student, I was an assistant group supervisor working at the bottom level of childcare. It's just the last place I had worked at was a licensed childcare center, but they had a private kindergarten program as well. And that was where I was really like, I really could do this. I could do this back in Lancaster.
Gotcha.
And that's what really motivated me to come home and look into opening. And Leola was a fairly dry market. They had one other childcare center, and they had a very long waiting list. So I did some market research, and that's how we ended up in Leola to start.
And that's the Conestoga Valley School District area. Correct. Yeah. And so you said early childhood education. Can you define what that is? Is that everything that's before kindergarten in an elementary school? Is that?
Well, Department of Education keeps changing the definition. So back in the 90s, yes, it would have been everything before kindergarten. Now the license is pre-K through grade 3 is considered early childhood education.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So do you serve up through grade 3?
We do not. We have pre-kindergarten. Okay. Well, we have pre-kindergarten licensed rooms. We do before and after school wraparound care in the elementary school buildings for K through 6th, 5th, 6th, depending on how many what grade the elementary school goes to.
Okay, that's cool. I think we'll talk about that in a little bit. So starting your first business, you just moved into a building, opened the doors, and it was a success right away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With my degree in education and no business experience at all. I learned business through hard knocks.
Yeah, as most of us do.
That was it. My heart and soul was education and care for children. So that was the focus.
That's cool.
We had some wonderful support in the Loyola community as the years went through. As I remember going around before I opened, just introducing myself to local businesses. And one of the local businesses was like, "Are you old enough to start a business to be opening? Finish high school first?" I'm like, "Thank you. I finished college, worked a couple of years in Philadelphia, and decided to come back home and open a business. But thank you."
There you go.
It's hard to believe. Been 30 years since I started.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, kudos to you. We're going to talk about the story kind of going from 1 to 7 and everything in between. We only have a short period of time, and I'm sure there's hours worth of stories that we could tell. So can you share a little bit more about some of the programs that you have available for early childhood education? I want to know a little bit more about what the experience is like for a child in there, why somebody is enrolling with you. And maybe we can get Adriana in here as well. I want to learn Adriana's story. You're patiently waiting there. So at any point, Adriana, you can chime in and maybe talk about the program too. But I want to know a little bit more about the experience in the center itself.
Well, I can take you through our timeline a little bit. 1995, we opened in the War Memorial Building, which also houses the Upper Laycock Township Fire Department. And we were in the basement there for 5 years. Started off with 21 children on our roll. By the time we moved in 2000 to our second location, we had close to 100 children on our roll. So we moved up to the old elementary school building. It was a fun move because all we did was push everything up the hill to the building that was right adjacent to the property we are currently in.
Wow.
We have a number of students that are now adults with their own children that remember that summer we moved. Plopping things into wagons and just wheeling it up to the new facility.
Wow.
That center has always served infants, young toddlers, older toddlers, preschoolers. And back in the beginning for our first 20 some years, we also had a before and after school program in our child care center. So that had been happening for quite a long time. That center has moved one more time and is now located on Quarry Road inside of Zion Lutheran Church. We moved there in April of 2021.
Wow.
But before we moved, Adriana came into the picture.
And who's Adriana?
So I am the Early Childhood Education Administrative Director, formerly the School Age Administrative Director. In 2020, Michelle brought me in to open the school age programs that have been closed down during COVID. So we opened it up as for before and after school programs in Conestoga Valley School District. And then in our second year of operation there, we opened up a 5th building at Donegal School District. And the middle of that school year into the following school year, we opened our 7th location. Total 6 school age location at Donegal Intermediate School.
So when you say school age and the multiple locations, that would be multiple elementary schools you're counting so you cover all of the CV district, is that?
Yeah, we have a before and after care program in all 4 Conestoga Valley elementary schools. And then we also have before and after in both Donegal Intermediate and Donegal Primary.
Okay. So, wow. Pretty cool. So you have your original facility, and then you have the care, the early morning and after school care at all of those elementary school locations.
Yes, and Adriana's
amazing.
selling herself a little short because she also started summer camps.
Let's learn about summer camps. I want to hear it all.
So in 2020, we opened, I guess it was summer of 2021, we opened our CV summer camp program. It started out with 60 children. We're currently in our third or fourth year. I think it's the third year of summer camp, and we have 127 children enrolled. Wow. And then last school year, we opened our first summer camp at Donegal School District to about 30 children. And that has now upped to 75 kids this year. So we have opened quite a few buildings. We have 365 children that we work with every day. And then this school year, we opened 4 pre-K counts classrooms inside Conestoga Valley as well. So we added 72 extra pre-K spots.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you keep it all straight.
We have a great administrative team.
I'm guessing. Yeah. How many people do you employ, Michelle?
We have 46 full-timers on roll right now.
Okay.
We are avoiding hitting 50. 50 full-timers, as any small business owner will know, is a whole another can of worms. So
yes.
We are looking at how we can expand and serve the community more without adding more full-time employees.
Sure. So, there's a ton of things we could talk about, but summer camps that's an interesting component. There's a huge need. A lot of families, both parents or maybe a single parent, they work. And when there's no school, what do you do? Especially if there's no other family around or there's no older, teenager that can be at home to watch the youngster. So was that something, Michelle, that you always wanted to do, have summer camps?
It's something that we had done previously in our child care center. We had we did before and after school care, but it was only for the school district. It was only for Leola Elementary because we were located near the building.
Yeah, right.
And then when we moved into that old building, then the district was kind enough to make us a bus stop so children could keep coming and we could keep serving families. Okay. So we always had a summer camp, just not to the extent that Adriana's doing it.
Okay. So she came in and blew it up, took it to the next level.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you've got a great symbiotic relationship with the CV school district. How did that get its roots? And can you talk a little bit about maybe the district and how that kind of partnership works?
I can give you some of the roots. My very first interaction with CV was the principal at Leola Elementary when I first opened in 1995, and her name was Beverly Brenizer, and she was amazing. Talk to anybody from CV, they will sing her praises. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman that we greatly miss. But she really encouraged me and was available to chat anytime. And from that, CV just always had a connection with early childhood. It's a priority for them. They're part of the First 10 community. CV's talking about that a lot. You can find it on their website. It's really stresses the importance of brain development in the first 10 years of life and how much we as early childhood providers can influence that child's development and be helpful to it. So CV's always just been a great partner. We've had previous grants partnerships with them in the past for 5 years, Keystone's Opportunity Grant. But Adriana was my person because Adriana had a previous relationship with the school district as well. So
okay.
Definitely my person to pull in when we were going to open these locations.
That's great. What is your relationship with CV?
So I had previously been a site director for the before and after care program prior to COVID. And then when COVID shut everything down, Michelle called me up and said, I know what your goals are for the next 5 years of your career. We had talked about them, and she said, I would love to bring you on to help me reopen these programs. So we met with the school district in August of 2020, and we were up against another child care provider that was proposing to bring in care.
Sure.
And ultimately they went with us because of my relationship with them and the knowledge of steps to success. So they felt more comfortable bringing somebody in that had already been in the schools and already had a relationship with the families and parents and the children. So it kind of worked out perfectly.
That's great. I mean, familiarity is so important. That's awesome. So I'm going to say, there was something on the tip of my tongue, right there, and I just lost it, but it was related to the CV and that conversation. But we'll come back to it. I know what it was. So, CV, and I'm sure there's other school districts that have relationships with other early childhood programs. They know that if a kid goes through a program like yours, as opposed to maybe not having the opportunity to go through that program, they know that those children are ready for kindergarten and grade 1 and grade 2. Is that what they feel is important to promote a business like yours and have a relationship with a business like yours?
I believe so. It's really a part of their first 10 community building. We have the pre-K counts programs that we've started in the buildings. It's 3 and 4 year olds that are actually in the elementary schools, learning the buildings, riding the buses, and just getting those scary things that usually happen the first couple weeks of kindergarten are not going to be scary because they're already in there and they've already learned how we walk to the gym, how we find the music teacher, where the library is. I will say that CV also has a partnership with Owl Hill Learning Center that's over at the Smoketown facility. So STEPS does 3 of the 4 elementary schools for the pre-K counts program.
Yeah, that's great. Oh man, I mean, there's so many different ways we can take the conversation, but there's only so much time that we have. If there's a parent that wants to sign their children up, how do they do that? And when should they start thinking about, let's say they have a kid, a year or so goes by, like when should they be thinking about enrolling a child in a program like yours?
I'll start with infants. Usually 4 months pregnancy, we recommend you get on our waiting list. Get through the first trimester and then contact us about spaces. A lot of families that wait till the last minute find out that there's lists, there's waiting lists. It's a child care crisis. Everybody talks about the child care crisis. It's real. That's why we were able to reopen so many locations. Because there is truly a need out there for more qualified programs.
So when you say reopen locations, these are other early childhood education centers that closed, other businesses that closed, and you noticed, hey, that business left a gap in this community and that community and that community. So you were able to expand into those existing locations.
Right.
Wow. I mean, kudos to you, because that's a big deal. I mean, because, I'm sure the average center has a bunch of kids in it that if their center goes away, that's a huge void to fill.
It is.
We talk about that frequently. Like, we were very lucky because in a time when a lot of businesses were closing, we were able to kind of swoop in and fill that gap up for those families that really needed it. And that was Michelle's biggest goal and biggest vision, was to help the families in the community that, were at a loss. The Conestoga Valley school age programs were being shut down 2 weeks before school started. And it left 100 families without care. So within a month's time, we were able to reopen those, get the licenses up and running, and really bring those programs back to the families as quickly as possible.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it really is.
It was a lot of help from the state during that time as well.
Sure.
We were going through the pandemic and state licensing, our Keystone Stars coaches, everybody was trying to be as supportive as they could during the pandemic and helping us navigate how to go about this. I was a standalone center for a long time. And this was a big change. Adriana gets all the credit for the big change.
That's great. That's great. I mean, I can see the relationship here and how well you work together. And that's a huge part of I'm sure the success that you've had here. So, that's what you've done. And again, there's so many more things that we could talk about, but like, what's kind of the vision, for, a year down the road of 5 years, 10 years? There's a ton of other elementary schools out there and the community is growing. The people aren't stopping having kids, right? There's always going to be newborns, who need, early childhood care. So what does the future look like for Steps to Success?
I think we did so much growing in such a short amount of time that we're really focusing on the quality of our current programs that we have. That's and great. How we can expand them to be even better than they already are. We're really focusing on our childcare center and what we can do to, provide the best care for the families in the area. And then we get inquiries all the time from different areas that are like, hey, we know what you do every day with your school age program. We would love for you to come and open one up in here or help us run our program. And so we have a lot of options available to us in the future. But right now, our biggest focus is how we can make the programs that we already have the best that they can be.
I love that. Michelle, anything to add there?
She's hit it right on the nose. Plus we're slightly hindered by that 50 full-time employees. That's not a hurdle we're looking to jump too quickly. But
I get you.
Yes, we field calls, nursing homes, other districts outside the county. We are very blessed with the opportunities that keep being presented to us. That's
awesome. That's awesome. So, talk about your employees a little bit. It takes a special person to work with children. Two children are my own, and they're great. But kids are tough. Like, I help coach my son's baseball team. He's 10 years old, and it's a pack of boys. Now they're past the early childhood education part, but kids are tough. Like I said, it takes a special person to work with children. So, where do you find your employees? And I also want to know, is it kind of like somebody's maybe first job to get into early childhood education before they do other education jobs, or what does that look like? I just don't know.
It really varies person to person, but we do have partnerships with Lancaster County Career and Technology Center. They have a great early childhood program. So we have a number of girls that are graduates from that program. We work with HAC. We have education students come out and do observations in our classrooms. We have a partnership with Millersville University. Alumni have to support Millersville. So we come back. They come in, do observations. We are also a student teaching location because we have our pre-K classrooms. So they come out and do student teaching with us. So we recruit a lot of college students. We work around their schedules. We're flexible. Some of them move on to other things. And occasionally some of them stay with us. So we're thankful for the many opportunities that Lancaster County provides when it comes to the education of teachers.
Yeah, I mean, we have multiple higher learning education opportunities right here in Lancaster County, and that can't be said by a lot of other communities. So that's really cool. What are you looking for, like when somebody comes and applies or is considering being part of Steps to Success? Are there some qualities that you look for in a person to work with the kids enrolled in your program? I'm sure there are.
Yeah. Do you want to try, Adriana?
Definitely experience for one. Whenever we hire somebody, they have to have 2,500 hours working with children in order to be alone with them. So we prefer a little bit of background, whether it's babysitting or college credits, things like that. We look for. You have to be really high energy and personable. You have to be able to communicate very well. because you're partnering with families and you're taking care of their littlest people. So we're very we're very big on the family atmosphere that we provide for all of our employees. So making sure that we can be supportive of them, but, also understanding that we're taking care of little kids.
Really, really well said. Yep. I love that. Michelle, anything to add?
They have to love children.
You're right. That makes you little brats. Yeah. You're not hiring that person. Yeah. I get you.
You have to have a passion for children. Doesn't work otherwise.
Yep. And I'm guessing the two of you do have a passion for children.
If you could see our main office room, it's just pictures of children. We had to bring them with us. So we just brought pictures of them.
So Michelle, in your career now, you said, I think 30 years, have you had children that you worked with early on that are now parents that have kids enrolled in the program?
Yes, I do.
That's got to be cool to see.
I just ran into one in the hallway the other day, and he said his last name, and I'm like, I said his first name, and I'm like, yep, Miss Michelle, it's me. I just, I've had several second generation kids.
That's cool.
I don't know what's going to happen when the third generation comes around. I'm going to feel really old by then.
Right.
But it could happen in the next 5-6 years.
Now, do you ever I have some stories about you from when you were.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. And do you share those stories?
I do occasionally. I really hate to embarrass people.
That's what life's all about. There's one
dad I keep running into, and I love him. He was one of our favorites. And my favorite story. And if you're listening, Joe, love you.
It's great. I love it.
Christmas program, and all he wanted to do was get up there and hold on to that mic. He just wanted to be the center of attention during the whole Christmas program, and he just wanted the microphone. And it's just.
And now he's a parent.
His child's not enrolled.
Okay.
His daughter and my granddaughter are on cheer together. So
I got you. So yeah, you see him every once in a while. So that's cool. That's cool though. I mean, you have that personal connection with a lot of people in the community that have grown up and now they have families of their own. And that's really, really cool. So often on this show, it's Lancaster Connects. We like to try to connect businesses to the community to businesses, nonprofits, charitable organizations, all of that. I believe are you a nonprofit?
We are a nonprofit.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. And is that unique for early childhood education centers or the norm? I just don't know. You're the first, of such center that we've hosted on the show.
The nonprofit centers are usually smaller centers.
Okay.
I think Lancaster Rec, I believe, is nonprofit. So they have a number of locations. Trying to think who else. But for the most part, multiple locations are large for-profit companies that are usually international. The one that pulled out right prior to the school starting was an international for-profit company.
Oh, wow.
So it
okay.
wasn't profitable for them to stay in Lancaster County during a pandemic.
Gotcha. Wow.
But that's why we were here. So I'd say mostly they're for-profits. That's the big chains, the names that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
It's going to be the small nonprofits that are in churches or that are doing the more personalized work.
Gotcha.
I will say.
Yeah. So that's great. Oh, is there more to add there? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't think so.
Gotcha. So yeah, like I said, the show is called Lancaster Connects. We like to connect the community to nonprofits and, business owners and stuff like that. So, we often ask, how can the community help? Obviously, you need students. You need parents to enroll their children. You've got the connection with the school. So that's a great relationship there. But how can the general community help steps to success in your organization there?
Well, we have community events. We have fundraisers. We are part of the Extra Give every year. So we'll push the extra give a little bit there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, where we do that every year. We always plan to go bigger and stronger than we did the previous year, and then we get all wrapped up with the kids and it doesn't happen. So, hey, this is our plug for Extra Give right here, right now.
There you go. There you go. I mean, what an amazing, amazing event or time. It's just really, really cool to see the community rally around all the nonprofits that do such an amazing job with, whatever their lane is, right?
Right.
It's really cool to see the amount of giving and the love that's spread to, folks like you, the kind of the heartbeat of any community, nonprofits and charitable organizations. Without you all, I think community will fall apart. And a lot of times it's unsung work. It's kind of like, there's a lot of nonprofits out there that aren't well known or, don't receive the love, but it's cool to see Lancaster come around the community during the Extra Give. So yeah, definitely steps to success. Give to steps to success during Lancaster Extraordinary Give.
All our fundraising events either go to major projects, like we just replaced flooring in our child care center.
Oh, yep.
That was like a $40,000 project.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. We have playground renovations we need to do. Just specialized equipment that we want to purchase that might be a little more than what we have budgeted. That's fundraising. Big thing we use for our fundraising money for is scholarship funds. So when families get in trouble or are having difficulties, the car breaks down unexpectedly, they don't have the money in savings, how can we help? So we have scholarship funds that help those families because we know they still have to work and they still need childcare.
So parents know that if they're in a bind and they have a child enrolled with you, that they can come to you and say, hey, we've got this situation going on, and you're able to work with them and help them out. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, what are they going to do if they're, a single parent or working? They can't not have their child enrolled because then they lose their income if they have to stay home with the child. That's a really tough spot.
Right. Well, that's also the joy of being a nonprofit. The money stays right here inside the company and goes back into the children and the families. So that's really where our joy comes from, is seeing how we can help families.
Adriana, when is your next event that the community can either participate in or, sorry to put you on the spot?
It's okay. I'm trying to think. I think our biggest event coming up is our trunk or treat that we do every year. In October. We started it, was it the year after COVID? I think it was the year after COVID, 2021, we started our first trunk or treat. And it was very successful. So, as with everything else, we've grown a little bit every year. And last year we brought in, some bounce houses and a book fair, kind of, up the attendance. The Zion Lutheran Church that we partner with for our child care center, they provide, food and extra items for it. So it's really a big community event that we enjoy having. And we always have a donation table there because it gives you just a little glimpse into what we do every day.
That's cool. So how does that work? You come in and you can participate if you donate, or what does that look like?
It's completely free to attend. It's mostly just to outreach the community and give them something unique to the area. A lot of the schools do them, but ours is geared more towards, our programs and then the community, the entire Leola community. This year we were really lucky. We got to include our Donegal community as well. We had them come down. So we really opened it up. And you just attend. If we collect donations, that's great. But a lot of it just to be a community partner.
That's great.
We bring in a lot of our Conestoga Valley partners. The first 10 community comes out. Conestoga Valley Seeds has come out. The Stevie CCS comes out. So we have a lot of our partners that we reach out to. East Lampeter usually sends out a police officer. So we really make it a big community event for everybody.
And it's that sort of event that the kids remember.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Making it fun and making it a community thing that
And all
people can look forward to.
All the chunks are put together by our families. So it's really a big steps event that we just open up to the community to come out and have fun.
That's awesome. So something else. Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to say our next event is a partnership with Zion Lutheran Church. It's, I wrote it down. August 10th, it's their water slide day. They have just a big, they set up water slides and bounce houses and do a big thing. And then we also, our other big event is the Pennsylvania Entertainer Swap Meet, which happens every spring, like March is our next one, where a whole bunch of entertainers come in and Steps provides concessions and we make a couple $100.
Do you have those events listed on your website?
I'll make sure we do.
Okay. And I'm sure you have a Facebook page. We probably had it on the screen a little bit ago, but I'm sure you post about these events on your Facebook page.
Yes, so we do.
If you're not a fan or like or whatever, I don't know what they call it now, follower, go to the Steps for Success Facebook page, click the like button, and follow them and learn about all the cool things they're doing. Follow along their events and
some
all
of our beautiful staff at our Christmas program.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. One question I wanted to ask before we wrap up: do you have students with special needs there? Are you able to handle very special needs for? Okay, you're both nodding yes.
We have we actually this school year we brought on a behavioral specialist. She has her master's degree in social work, and she partners with our families that need extra behavioral support or extra special needs support. So we really have taken an extra step in early childcare to provide that extra necessity for the family.
Okay, that's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, you help with financial needs and the special needs. That's awesome. I mean, you're providing an incredible service to the community and of course the parents of the kids you watch there. And I love the partnership with the school. Awesome that you were able to come together there and provide some additional services that they can't offer or maybe went away with COVID. And I love the fact that you were able to take over for that unnamed national business that was not able to stay in the small community of Lancaster County, and you were able to fill that gap. That's just really, really cool to hear. Everybody else is closing and you're able to expand and fill that need and do it well. So kudos to you, to the two of you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share? I mean, we've got our connection cocktail, so I'm not done with you yet, but anything else you'd like to share about Steps to Success or anything you've got going on that you'd like to talk about?
I think that's pretty much everything in a nutshell.
All right. I mean, again, there's so many things we could talk about, but that's a good intro to the business there. So I think we'll jump right into the connection cocktail. We'll learn a little bit more about Michelle and Adriana here. So a lot of times we just try to dig into some Lancaster things, just kind of Lancaster Connects thing. So do you each have a favorite Lancaster restaurant? Michelle, you can go first.
My husband and I we're over on the other side of the county. So we live over in West Hempfield. We love to go to Black Olive in Columbia.
Okay.
Black Olive.
Okay, that's one we haven't heard yet. So and I don't think I'm familiar with that. Where is that and what is it?
It's just a little family restaurant. And they just have a nice variety of foods, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I can also get baklava cheesecake there. So. And where in Columbia is that? It is on the main drag and it's 9th Street, I believe it is.
Okay. So
or Malibu. It's near Columbia. It's near the Malibu Road.
Yep. I know where you're talking about there. So Black Olive in Columbia.
Black Olive in Columbia.
Put that on the list. All right. Adriana, you're not allowed to give the same answer. So
I don't know what Black Olive is, so I just learned something new as well.
That's why we do the show.
mine is Leola staple, Funk's restaurant. We have a great relationship with them over there as well. But we attend Funk's quite often. It's one of our favorite go-to spots to support. And then Fox Meadows for ice cream, obviously. So
yes. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going to say, Leola, you have to be familiar with Fox Meadows. I mean, there's a lot of good Lancaster County ice cream, but my family, we discovered Fox Meadows a handful of years ago, and yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic.
It was really bad in like a mile down the road.
Right. Yeah, it's like the best and the worst at the same time. Yeah, that's cool. Funk's is great too because they have the nice indoor section, but then you have the outside, and they can close it off to from weather and cold and whatnot. So yeah, that's a cool spot too. All right, so that was a Lancaster County connection. How about hidden talents? Do either of you have a hidden talent or something like that we wouldn't know about you? Like, can you sing, or do you do something else? No, nothing.
So my husband's a magician, hence the Pennsylvania Entertainer Swap Meet. So I dabble a little magic, but I also do balloon twisting, so I can make balloon animals. And these random balloon animal figurines just tend to pop up in my office occasionally, because I don't know, the girls enjoy that I can make balloon animals. Well, I don't know.
Can I put you on the spot and make us a balloon animal, and we'll guess what it is?
I don't have any with me.
Don't use the figurine.
Oh, I don't know if I can grab it appropriately.
That's all right. But that's cool. Balloon magician and dabble in a little magic, right? Is that what you said?
Yep, I dabble in magic.
And balloon animals. Man, well, we had, and I think we have again hosting on the show a magician, Brett Myers from Magic and Wonder Theater. He was on a year or two ago, and he's going to be on in a few months. Fantastic show and fantastic magician.
He donated some tickets for our fundraiser.
Oh, that's so cool. That's There we go. So cool. Well, maybe we'll bring you back and you can do some magic or balloon animals sometime down the road. And Adriana, you're just declining to answer. No hidden talent. Your life is dedicated to early childhood education. Believe it or not.
Very much.
All right.
That and house sitting. She house sits occasionally.
You know what I do know. You know what I do notice, Adriana, in your background there, I noticed some Disney stuff.
Oh,
I see a Disney picture and a
art from Disney the other day. Big Disney fan.
All right.
It's just always been it's our favorite vacation spot to go together, and that's cool. Just took a week and spent some time as a family, but big Disney fan.
That's cool. Yeah, I see the 50th anniversary snow globe there.
We have some Legos here too that we've been building.
Cool. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we took the family down a couple years ago, and I don't know that we'll be back. The kids loved it. I liked it, but to me, it's a little overwhelming.
My dad is the Disney guru of the family, so it's whenever he plans vacation, that's where we do.
That's cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you for both answering and playing along. One last question. We're in late spring right now, coming into summer. Do you have a favorite season? Is this your season now, or are you like fall, winter? What's your favorite season?
My season has changed. It used to be spring, and now spring doesn't like me anymore.
No, is that allergies?
Yeah, the allergies.
Yeah.
The fall has to be my favorite now.
Okay, yeah. Changing leaves, cooler weather, sweaters,
I got married in the fall, so fall works.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Adriana?
I'm very similar. I used to love spring when I was a little younger, but fall is now my favorite. I enjoy football season and sweater weather, and
that's cool.
That hockey, that's my.
All right. That's cool. I like it. I'm a fall guy too. I love playoff baseball, basketball starts, and I do like the fact that when it's super hot and then it gets a little cooler and you can put pants and a sweatshirt on. That's a fun feeling. So All right. Well, thank you both for playing along. Michelle and Adriana, thanks so much for sharing about Steps to Success, what you're all about, and of course, the services you're providing to hundreds of Lancaster County children and many, many families in the community that need your service. So thanks for sharing. It was a pleasure to have you on, and I wish you lots of success for the future.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Have a great rest of the day. All right. Well, that was a fantastic conversation. It's really cool. And I think it's something we often take for granted. Like, you have children. I have 2 kids, 10 and 14. So they're well beyond the early education needs, early childhood education needs. But school starts around kindergarten. So you need and working families, when there's parents at work, and there's no other childcare need, you need a facility like that. Cause I can't imagine, when Michelle was talking about these other facilities that just, COVID up and closed, if you had your child enrolled there, what are you going to do? And, the fact that they stepped in and were able to expand their offerings to these other communities that were impacted, by those, center closes. That's just a really, really cool story to hear about, their heart for helping children, helping families, and, providing a service that's really, really needed in the community. So if you were moved by their story, or wanted to support them, please do so. Look them up online, Steps to Success, on the web, like their Facebook page. Give, there it is, stepstosuccess.com. Give during the Extra Give, which happens either late November, early December. I think late November. But they are one of the many, many nonprofits and organizations that you can give to at the end of the year. So all businesses, all nonprofits need your support, but they provide a really, really good one and needed for the Lancaster community. So give them your support. Going to wrap up the show here. Normally we do a sleep better tip, but I don't really have one prepared. I was a bad student. But what I do have, I do the testimonial time for Gardner's Mattress and More. Gardner's Mattress and More is the 4 walls that I reside in at the moment, and we broadcast this show live from. Gardner's has been around since 1990 in Lancaster County, providing happy morning wake-ups every morning since 1990. And for the last 14 years, we've been voted favorite mattress store in Lancaster County, which is a pretty big deal. We just wrapped up voting for hopefully our 15th year. So we'll find out in a couple months if we were 15-time winner. We kind of like to say that that's a record. I don't know if it is or isn't, but it feels like it. 15 years is a long time. So fingers crossed. We've got a great community that supports us. The show is our way of giving back. Lancaster Connects, as you saw just, for the last 55 minutes, we like to highlight other small businesses, nonprofits, charitable organizations making an impact in the community. It's a show that we professionally produce. Shout out to Chris Stone at Cast Ahead Productions, doing a fantastic job behind the scenes, pushing all the buttons, making the show look great. Can't say enough about the work he does for us and the show. And, it's putting on the show is our way of giving back to the community. But we do have some fantastic customers over the last, since 1990, 34 years, who've supported our business, of course, in an exchange for a better night's sleep on these white rectangles behind me. We work with our customers to find a mattress that fits their sleep needs, and we strive for excellent service. And we have a wonderful team that does a fantastic job with our customers. And in exchange for all of that, we get some kind words that come in on handwritten testimonial forms. And I've got 2 of them here that came in. I opened up the mail this morning, and here are 2 really great testimonial forms that came in. We always ask about the overall experience with Gardner's and would they refer. And Anne, a recent customer, said the experience was exceptional. I never thought I'd pay so much for a mattress, but learning what I did made it all worth it. So that's cool. If you haven't purchased, a mattress isn't something you buy every year, sometimes not even every 5, 8, or 10 years. So if you haven't bought a mattress in a while, it's likely that you might have a little bit of a, almost a shock in that it's more expensive than the last time you bought a mattress. Well, that can be said about a product anywhere. It's more expensive to buy a new refrigerator than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Shoes, clothing, food, everything is more expensive now. So, but a mattress, as is any of those other things I mentioned, it's an investment. It's an investment in, especially a mattress, in your health and well-being. And when you understand the benefit that you can derive from a great night's sleep through a mattress that's matched to your sleep needs, when you understand that connection, the investment is worth it. So I like that Anne wrote, basically essentially that. Didn't think she'd spend as much as she came in thinking she'd spend, but it was completely worth it. And then Virginia also wrote, she was very pleased with the kindness and care she was giving. We recommended gardeners to several people here at St. Anne's Retirement Community. So that's cool. We love it when our customers are happy, of course, and they're waking up happy and pain-free every morning. And then they feel comfortable enough with us and the experience that they share that with other people in their community. And, it's not easy to recommend other businesses sometimes to your friends and family, because, what if you recommend and the service is bad, or the experience is bad, or the product is bad? But she felt really, really comfortable with her whole experience and her sleep and her, obviously her mattress, that she feels comfortable referring us within her tight community. So that's really, really humbling as a business owner to hear that somebody would go to that level and refer friends and family to us. So thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Anne. Kind words. That's going to wrap up the show. We've got a great show coming up next week. Again, Mondays at 2:00 Eastern time, right here, Lancaster Connects from Gardener's Mattress and More. Thank you for tuning in and hearing the story from Michelle and Adriana and Steps to Success. It was a great show. Hope everybody can support their business. And we'll see you next time on Lancaster Connects, 2:00 next Monday afternoon. Have a great day.